Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to part 3 of today's show of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. What a week it has been for Buffalo Bills fans. What a last month it has been for the Buffalo Bills fans. Enter this season with this offseason, this training camp with Sammy Watkins, Anquan Boldin, and they're both gone. I have a few reactions to this, a few different takes on this, and realistically, I see this in many different ways. There could be many different reasons why Anquan Boldin decided to hang him up. Different from what he has said, or additional reasons to what he has said. I think Anquan Boldin is a class act individual, a stand-up guy, a true humanitarian, a true great person. I really do. I could say that without even knowing the guy. Just how the way he carries himself, what he has done for the communities in which he has played for, the cities that he has helped, people in need. A great humanitarian. Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner in the NFL, which is, I think, the most prestigious single player award that you could win as a player in the NFL. Better than an MVP, better than a AFC Player of the Month. The Walter Payton Man of the Year award is a great player award that recognizes a true humanitarian inside the NFL, and for Boldin to win that is proof alone that he is a great guy. And I think his message of trying to change the narrative in this country of people being prejudiced towards people based on their sexuality and their race, and for many other reasons, I think it's sincere, wholeheartedly sincere. But I do think there are other reasons as to why Anquan Boldin decided to call it quits. Decided to retire, I should say, after a great career. One where he was a key feature player on Super Bowl teams in Arizona, in Baltimore, and realistically did have some time left in him. But I want to start off with one reason why I think Boldin decided to hang him up. Originally, when Anquan Boldin signed with the Buffalo Bills, he was brought in to sort of mentor the rookies like Zay Jones, or the receivers that are trying to become better like Andre Holmes, and really mentor guys like Sammy Watkins as well. Being that Sammy Watkins was moved out, shipped out of town, Jordan Matthews was brought in, I think the role changed for Anquan Boldin. He would have been seen as more of a wide receiver 2 or 3 rather than a role-playing wide receiver 4. And I do not believe Anquan Boldin believed in his heart that his body could handle that much of a role. It's much like the Kyle Orton situation in Buffalo a few years back, where Kyle Orton retired due to the fact that he did not want to continue to start for the Buffalo Bills. He wasn't planning on starting for the Buffalo Bills until the Bills told him, hey, EJ's getting pulled, we're 2-2, we need you to come in and play. And he was like, well, I guess. Realistically, that's what happened. That is 100% what happened. That's not false in any way, shape, or form. Kyle Orton did not want to play. He wasn't here to play. He was here to hold a clipboard and teach the players in his position, at his position. Be a voice in the quarterback room, as they say. And that was what I saw the Anquan Boldin signing as. I believe that's what Anquan Boldin saw that as well, in terms of him coming to the Buffalo Bills. And when that role changed, when Sammy was traded to the Los Angeles Rams, I think he needed to mull things over in his current role, give it a shot, try to get his feet wet, and then he realized, no, I can't. I can't do that. Another reason could be the fact that Boldin is 37 years old, playing for the Buffalo Bills. He looked around and realized that this was not a playoff team. There was no point in continuing his NFL career on a team that had a lot of work to do. And the fit was not as quote-unquote right now as he thought it was, a few weeks prior. The quarterback position, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. The quarterback position on the Buffalo Bills from top to bottom, quarterback 1, quarterback 2, quarterback 3, is probably the worst in the NFL. You really look at it, T.J. Yates is a journeyman quarterback. Nathan Peterman is a rookie. He's shown fantastic signs of being a adequate NFL quarterback, but he's a rookie. I pretty much championed Nate Peterman for the Buffalo Bills to draft Nate Peterman before the draft process even started back in February, before the scouting combine. And I was thankful that they did draft him. I think he does have what it takes to be an adequate starting quarterback in this league. But he's a rookie. And then you have the quarterback 1, Tyrod Taylor, who has proven that he has a unique skill set. He's proven that he can run with the football unlike any other quarterback in the league currently. He's proven that he can extend plays. And notice I'm naming all of his strengths. But he has also proven that he can't physically throw. Like the Drew Breeses of the world, like the Cam Newtons, like the Tom Bradys, like the Aaron Rodgers of the world. The guy is just simply not a franchise quarterback. He's an adequate fringe starter. And for a guy that spent 4 years behind Joe Flacco while Anquan Boldin was spending time in Baltimore, to not really show much growth as a starter in year 3, that is very concerning to me as a Bills fan, and it should be concerning to the Buffalo Bills organization, and it should be concerning to the players that are affected by it. Anquan Boldin, Charles Clay, Zay Jones, and obviously it affects LaShawn McCoy at 29 years old, having to run the ball 300 times as a 29-year-old on a team that's probably going to finish 5-11 or 6-10. I'm just stating facts here, people. That's it. That's all I'm doing. The quarterback position is a real problem. And Boldin came on to be a good soldier, be a wide receiver 4, but he didn't want to be a part of this, be a part of being a wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 2. That was not what he signed up for. So obviously, when you sign to do something and you realize it's not what it is, you quit. You leave. It's like any time you are hired at a new job, you're told what your role is going to be, you participate in pursuing that role and play that role, and then the role changes. Well, this isn't what I signed up for. That in itself is what happened. I think that there is real truth to the fact that he does want to make a difference in this world. I love the guy. I've always been a huge fan of Anquan Boldin. He's a class act, great guy. But I do think that he realized that this team was not where he thought it originally was. Especially when they made the trades that they made and changed the look of the offense. So it stinks because the outlook of 2017 is very bleak now more than ever. And I really thought I did, my schedule prediction in the Huddle magazine, rocksportsnetwork.com. It's on the left side of the page. Click it. You'll flip through. You'll see my articles on the wide receiver battle before they traded Sammy Watkins, of course. So it was released back in July. But I gave a schedule prediction of 8-8. I thought they could go 8-8. Their offense would be, better with guys like Sammy Watkins knowing that he has to stay healthy. But now that a guy like that is gone, it does change things. Now that a guy like Anquan Boldin is gone, it does change things. So I think this team is 5-11, 6-10 at best, and that's okay. For all the people that thought that, hey, we're going to be in the playoffs in 2017, you should have never thought that. You should have never thought that. Why am I saying that you should have never thought that? You should have never thought that because the same people that said that Rex should be fired, and rightfully so, are the same people that thought that the Bills would be a playoff team in year 1 with a new head coach. Typically, when a coach is removed from the organization and a new coach comes in, there is a transition period. And they do go 5-11, 6-10, 7-9. Usually, that's what happens. Last year, obviously, you can try to debunk my point by saying last year Miami went 10-6 with Adam Gase, who was their first-year head coach. But realistically, the right teams lost, and Miami won the games that they needed to win, and the right teams lost, or fell off, as I like to put it. And they were in the playoffs. But what did they do in the playoffs? Go back and take a look at that. They played an away game at Pittsburgh and proved that they were not a playoff team. They proved only one thing, that they were the worst team in the playoffs. The worst team in both conferences in the playoffs last year was the 2016 Miami Dolphins. And it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. So I would rather not make the playoffs, personally, as a fan and as a writer and a follower of this team, as I followed this team closely. I would rather not make the playoffs, go 5-11, go 6-10, go 7-9, or even 4-12, 3-13, 2-14, 1-15, or 0-16, than try to be something that we are not and fail and just miss the playoffs. There's no point in that. There's no point in that. It's a draft pick purgatory between 10th and 20th. You're not going to go out there and get your franchise quarterback. I know they got 2 first-round picks, but realistically, there's 3 very solid quarterbacks in this year's draft class, and Buffalo needs to get one of them. Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, one of those 3 have to go to Buffalo in order for their team to be better, because Tyrod Taylor's not the answer. And they know that. He knows that. Everyone in their right mind knows that. So call it how I see it. That's my tagline. That's what I say all the time. I call it as I see it. And as I see things currently, this is just a transition year. This is a year where they will try to win as many games as possible without trying. What I mean by that is they're going to make it look like they are trying, when really we know top to bottom on paper this team is terrible. They have Jordan Matthews, Zay Jones, and Rod Streeter as their 3 wide receivers, along with Andre Holmes. The offense is it's fair to say the offense is not where it needs to be. It's fair to say that the defense is not where it needs to be, coming off 2 atrocious years in that 3-4 defense and transitioning back to the 4-3. It's going to take some time. Not everyone is a natural fit in the 4-3 like a Jerry Hughes. Like Jerry Hughes is, I should say. There's a transition period. For all the people that are saying, let's trade Reggie Ragland. No, that doesn't get us anywhere. Trading Reggie Ragland for Philip Dorsett, a 5'6", 150-pound wide receiver. Obviously, I'm exaggerating here, but come on, guys. He's a quote-unquote rookie in his second year in the NFL, coming off a devastating knee injury, changing schemes in his first real year in the NFL. Give the guy a break. What would we get for him even if he were to be traded? Would we get a second-round pick like we did for Sammy Watkins? Hell no. And that's where Reggie Ragland was drafted. So what would Reggie Ragland's value be? The 4th-round pick that we traded to get him? Not worth it. Not worth it at all. I don't want to hear about it. Let's move on from that. Let's just face the facts that the 2017 Buffalo Bills season outlook is very bleak. It's very bleak, and that's okay, because 2018 can be a real boost, to infinity and beyond, Buzz Lightyear type year if we are drafting the right players. So I trust Brandon Beane. I trust Sean McDermott. I think this is the first time that we've had a GM and a head coach in unison, working together for a common goal, knowing that they will reach that goal. So hopefully you enjoyed this take on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. That was the Thomas Take. I'm Ryan Thomas. Take care.